Welcome back, everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob flying at you on a Sunday night or whenever you guys are listening to this. Doesn't matter because that's what it is for us. So that's what you're going to get from me. We just came off of the Bruins game, game 4. And were you able to, did you watch it?
Yep.
Do you also hate the fucking group text that we have going?
Oh, I muted it. I
was
muted
gonna
it.
I was gonna follow up and ask if you muted it. Also, mostly because of.
Well, you know what's funny? So I don't know how, you guys and your fucking stupid iPhones work. So I muted it so I don't get any notifications. I don't get any anything. But when I go to my text messages, I have like the list.
Yeah,
There's currently 87 messages.
sounds
And
about right.
I opened that chat because I was talking a little bit before the game started. 87.
Yeah, a lot of it is memes and just like what the fucks type of thing. Well, because I was gonna ask if you had muted it anyway, because I know during the week you have already said this that the games are on and like late enough where you're just gonna fall asleep anyway, so you don't even bother watching. So I know we keep that text thread going. I do the same thing during the week. I mean, I stayed up. Was it Thursday night? Yeah, because I think I was
I
working
watched the
from.
game one. Was that the one they lost?
Yeah,
No, they lost Wednesday night.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I watched that game.
no, they
Very
played
unhappy.
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
No, they've played Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. They've played 4 games.
Oh, okay. Oh, that checks out.
Um, no, because I remember telling Tom in the morning, I'm like, yep, stayed up, watch that game. I'm fucking super annoyed.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what it was. So Wednesday night was the night that I stayed up to watch it because I was working from home on Thursday, and I was fucking pissed that I stayed up because they lost. And then obviously I stayed up Friday night because it's Friday. And today was a afternoon game. So the first 2 games, I watched the first 2 periods and then just went to bed. And I set my phone to like sleep mode or whatever, so it doesn't buzz or ding or do any shit anyway. So I was saved, but it was the same idea. I would wake up the next morning and I'd see like 19 text messages from Jones and Vinny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really quick, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this because I know we're a national podcast now. We're global too. Shout out to the peeps in Italy and Singapore. Oddly, we've had like a bunch of downloads in Singapore.
Singapore has to be a VPN.
Yeah, I would imagine it's got to be someone on a VPN.
I don't think the Singaporeans are listening to us.
Yeah. They do speak English though. So it makes a little bit more sense than like one of those like random countries.
The shit we talk about, for one, definitely doesn't relate to the people of Singapore.
Yeah.
And then anyone in Singapore listening to it would have to have something better to do.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Or like some level of survival that they need to undertake. Like it would be something like it has to be something like that. I know nothing about Singapore.
Yeah, I only know that it's
Is it like a third world country or is it nice? I don't even know.
No, it's like a country within a country. It's like within China, I think.
Oh,
It's like one of those weird countries that like
we have a massive not I don't remember the branch now. We have a base there though, because when I was in I think like the 4th grade, there was a kid. He goes, "Oh, I was born in Singapore." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, man." He goes, "Yeah, my father's in the military." I go, "Oh, dude, that doesn't count." I'm like, "Fuck that."
Okay, so technically it's an island. I pulled up a map of it. It's right in between Malaysia and Indonesia. I thought it was one of those weird things like Hong Kong. Like, well, my history might be off on this. I think China absorbed Hong Kong back.
Taiwan
But
that
like, how Hong Kong technically is a country within, or was, I guess.
Vatican City? We'll use that one. That one we know. Vatican City is its own country, but like not really.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought that was the situation with Singapore, but I was incorrect. It is a tiny little island in between Malaysia and Indonesia. So yeah, anyway, well, meanwhile, the people in Missouri are like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. So
People in Missouri, like, yeah, we don't know anything about Singapore either.
yeah. Bruins finally came out and like looked like they should, right? Like the opening, I don't know, you call it 7 or 8 minutes of the first period, were a little suspect because I think Florida had 10 shots on goal and the Bruins had 0. But then they quickly turned it around and they basically took control of the entire game. There was like a brief, few minutes where the score was 2-1. And it was like, oh boy, maybe they're going to put something together. And then they just never did.
Well, it was 2-1, 3-2. In
Yeah.
the first goal they scored was it was a fluky situation, but a good goal off that situation. Like, it
It was
was
a good
weird how
play by Kachuk.
the puck like popped.
It was
It
stuck
was
on
on
the
the
net.
net. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a weird play.
Yeah. As much as I hate Kachuk, it was a good play by him, so, and it fooled Olmark and just about everyone. So, it is what it is. You tip the cap, nice goal, whatever. We're moving on.
Kachuk, local guy.
Yeah, he's a fucking loser. I hate him. He's actually not a local guy. His dad's a local guy. His dad's kind of a loser too.
I think his parent. Oh yeah, his dad's. Yeah, so he was from. So Keith, I think, was actually from Melrose, but his parents lived in Medford.
Yeah,
or maybe he was actually from Medford. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think he like.
I know where his parents lived when I grew up.
Yeah, so he grew up, I think, in Melrose and then moved to Medford at some point, like while
Or
he
it could
was
be
like
it could be a situation
school-aged.
when like Lawrence Memorial wasn't delivering babies, so his birthplace is Melrose, but he never actually lived in Melrose.
True,
I know where
Yeah.
I remember where his parents lived. It was right down the street from me. And like occasionally I'd see the big SUV with Missouri plates. Missouri, here it is. Missouri
Yeah.
plates when he was with the Blues.
Yeah. Wow, he would drive from fucking Missouri.
Listen, I saw a giant
Yeah.
and I mean
No, I mean, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of
he probably could have fucking shipped the car, towed the car.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, he went to Malden Catholic. He's a fucking loser. I've heard people say not great things about him. I've obviously never met the guy. I don't know if they talk shit about him because he just like up and left and like never. He's not a true local guy, right? Like he doesn't come back to Massachusetts.
He's not a Bates.
Yeah, that's the thing. So everyone, whenever people around here talk about Kachuk, right, they're like, well, I mean, he was better than Bates, but I mean, Bates is really from here. And it's like, okay, but Kachuk grew up in Medford. Like he played at Malden Catholic. He is from here. Like he decided to like not come back here after he finished playing, and Sean Bates did, right? So like it's a whole fucking stupid thing. It's a very stupid Massachusetts Boston thing.
It's a Medford. No, it's only a Medford.
It's a Medford thing. Yeah, it is. Because the way people talk about Sean Bates, you think he was like some amazing fucking player.
But don't forget though, people forget. You might be forgetting. His brother Dapper was better, but he couldn't lay off the hooch. That's what everyone says.
Yeah. So I mean, Keith was actually good. He was actually.
Listen, Sean Bates actually made the NHL and was on a roster for probably 8 to 10 years. Like that's no slouch.
Right.
Keith Kachuk was like he was probably an all-star.
Legitimately good. Yeah.
Dappa, no.
So
speaking of, I play with a guy. He plays in a golf league with the Bates. With the Bates is the cousin. Like,
yeah, obviously.
I'm like, he goes, oh yeah, Sean and Dapper. I'm like, yeah, is Brian there too? He goes, yeah. I'm like, he's the cousin, right? Yeah. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, great people.
Just fucking kill me now.
Yeah. So yeah, Matt Kachuk is a cunt. He's Marchand.
That's all he is.
He is. He's Marchand. That's exactly who he is.
If he's not on your team, you hate him, and if he is on your team, you love him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I can't really say that about Marchand, but like he took like deliberate dirty. He's been playing deliberately
Oh,
dirty.
and Brad Marchand never did
That's
that at
why
any point in his
I know
career.
that's why I stopped myself.
Licking people and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, so that's a different kind of thing,
Marchand's been
though, right?
suspended his fair share of times too,
No, and I know I'm not
especially
trying
when
to
he was
defend
younger.
him. Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do here. But like, there's a difference between licking a dude in the face and then cross-checking Garnett Hathaway in the where there's no pads.
Yeah,
Right, to the point where like he can't get off the ice.
him and Marchand are the same guy.
Yeah,
Just one wears our uniform. Because
um,
there's a lot of fan bases. They'll remember what because I don't know what Marchand. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember some of the plays that Marchand's been suspended for, but he's done some fucking disgusting shit too. And then same
yeah,
with Kachuk, where okay, so maybe he doesn't like take somebody out, which he probably has. But he would take stupid penalties trying to be like overly aggressive guy.
yeah.
Like I think that was the big thing in 2019. He was always in the fucking box.
Yeah, they said he's the only player, or no, he's one of 3 players all time that have 100 penalty minutes and 100 points in the same season.
You only got to take his skate off and try to stab someone.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he's a bitch. The Panthers actually looked like a bunch of bitches today. And it was great, great playoff hockey. Olmark tried to fight Kachuk at one point because, again, Kachuk was being a huge bitch the whole time. Came over, he grabbed Olmark's face mask and tugged at it. Like it was a whole thing. And so Olmark literally dropped the gloves and ripped his fucking helmet off and was ready to fight him. It was amazing.
So I just saw a post game thing. I guess it was the team's call. It was Montgomery's call to take Olmark out. I guess he was like the ref said he could stay or he could come back, and Montgomery's like, "Nah, we're good." And because I thought I can't remember now. I thought it's like an actual issue, and this is probably what he got the misconduct for. If a goalie hits a player with their blocker, I think that's like a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think Olmark got a misconduct, but since he's a goalie, it's like I don't know if he has to leave
But also
the game.
I don't know if it's I think this is the rule for hockey. Obviously, I never played. But I think some of their rules are similar to lacrosse, where when the goalie gets a penalty,
Someone else serves it.
a designated player has
Yeah.
to serve that penalty for the goalie.
Yeah, and I
Right?
think
Like they're not going to take the goalie off the ice.
the only thing though is like that there is a point where that's not true. So like if the goalie two-hands someone,
Right.
they will throw that goalie out, and he is not allowed to play.
Yeah.
So there's got to be there's got to be something.
Yeah, if it's
Where,
like a slash or a hooking or something, you know what I mean?
like roughing.
Yeah, they'll they'll ask for it. What we
Yeah,
used to have to do in lacrosse was pregame with the referees designate a player as the goalie, like in case the goalie were to get a penalty, or the coaches technically too. So there was one player that was designated
serve penalties.
to serve penalties.
Yeah, we in youth hockey, I don't know if the NHL does it or whatever. In youth hockey, we never had to designate. So it could just be whoever.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, great hockey. Great playoff hockey, good win. Looked great. And we'll see if they can close the deal on Tuesday. They're probably not going to have Bergeron again.
Is it Tuesday or when? I don't actually know.
I think it's Tuesday.
At some point there's a 2-day gap.
Okay.
But
Jones was saying Tuesday in the group text.
He's probably right.
Yeah.
No, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah. I thought I heard them say when the schedule came out there was going to be a 2-day gap at some point because of arena availability.
Okay. I think They kind of do that sometimes though too anyway, right? Because they go
So later in the playoffs, when they start really dragging shit out, they
do
add
they
in that
do
the
two
travel
three
day.
two? Do they switch to
I
two three
don't
two?
I think that's a basketball thing. I think basketball is 2-3-2.
Okay.
I want
I think baseball does that too. Or it was. When I used to watch baseball, it was 2-3-2.
Yeah, now I don't remember. And I don't know the NBA's format,
Yeah.
but I'm
Because
pretty
I wasn't
sure
sure if later in the playoffs they switch. Because
I don't think they
I
so I
don't
don't think
think
they
I'm
switched the
crazy.
format.
I think one sport does this where later in the playoffs, like maybe like the second or third round, and then maybe the finals or something, or the conference championship and the finals or whatever it is, switches from 2-2-1-1-1 to 2-3-2. Um, and I feel like I heard that because the rationale, part of it was like TV. It had to do with like TV deals. But then the other part of it was as you get deeper into the playoffs, geographically, the teams are further apart, right? So to make them fly back and forth across the country 3 times for games 5, 6, and 7 didn't make a lot of sense. So I don't know. I also could be making all of this up. Like, who the fuck knows, right? Um, but
And
I feel like I'm not.
so the NBA is 2-3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
I'm pretty sure
NHL
baseball is two three
NHL
two.
is not a 2-3-2. I know that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're at least in the opening rounds they go 2-2-1-1-1.
They do that all the way through for the NHL. World Series is 2-3-2. And the LCS. Yeah, so baseball and
So
NBA are 2-3-2.
okay. So baseball
But baseball also doesn't have 7-game series in
until you get to the LCS.
yes, which is then 2-3-2.
Right.
And I think the best of fives are 2-2-1.
Could be.
Whatever. I don't
That
care.
sounds yeah, it sounds right. Um yeah, I forget how we even got to that.
I don't know.
But so anyway, that brings me to what we closed on at the end of the last episode, which I was talking about the new sponsor to the show. So if you've noticed the episodes that we record at night and you happen to watch them on YouTube, you see them drinking something out of a mug here. It's actually a tea, I guess you would call it. Technically, I think it is a tea, but it's called. Oh man, maybe when this gets posted to YouTube, it will correct. But right now,
It's correct
backwards.
for me.
Oh, it is. Oh,
I
cool.
see it as nighttime superfoods.
All right, so it's backwards for me. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see if this gets corrected or not. You can see it here: Moon Brew, nighttime superfoods here. So if you know anything about me, you know that I am a bit of a fucking nerd when it comes to sleep. Not to bring it up again for like the bajillionth time. But if you're new to the show, like Dan, shout out to Dan. I don't know if we turned him into a regular listener or not, but we'll find out soon. Um, I did my master's thesis on sleep and athletics and like how sleep not just affects athletic performance, but also just like the body in general. So, like, I spent a majority of my 2 years in my grad school program studying sleep in general. So, like, I became kind of obsessed and kind of a psycho about it. I'd say I've calmed down a lot actually since those days, but I'm still very conscious of sleep. I guess no pun intended. That I realized what I was saying as I was saying it. But it's something that like I've always paid attention to, and I've always been chasing like consistently good sleep because I'm a shitty sleeper. I snore. I potentially have sleep apnea. I don't know. I've never gone through a sleep study, but Amy tells me that I snore. Sometimes it gets pretty bad. I wake up a lot of times in the middle of the night, which I have just kind of like pieced everything together that like it could be sleep apnea. Like, why am I waking up, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in the middle of the night, if not apnea, right? So who knows?
Is that not just normal?
Yeah, who knows,
I thought
right?
that was normal.
um, Probably throw in a touch of anxiety in there too, and I'm sure that doesn't help my sleep. So, right, like I'm just not. I know I'm not a great sleeper, and I can feel it. I can feel the nights when I sleep really good. I wake up and I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, this is what it feels like to actually like get good sleep. And shout out to Whoop. They track all that shit and sleep, and it's most of the time it's pretty accurate. There are some nights where it's like you slept great, your recovery is like 89%, and I'm like, dude, I slept like shit last night. I feel like dog shit. So like you guys swung and missed on that one. Um, but I would say 80+% of the time it's pretty accurate with them. So, but this isn't an ad for Whoop. It's an ad for Moon Brew, nighttime superfoods. So again, they now sponsor the show. We have a promo code. Bear with me. It's a fucking stupid promo code. They use a third-party service to run their affiliate links. And the only thing they ask for are your first name, your last name, and your email address. They don't ask for anything else. So when I entered that information, they auto-generated me a promo code that is Jared16159. It's really fucking stupid. I'm just gonna say it, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here. That's a stupid fucking promo code. I did email their help desk, whatever you would call it. They're like info@moonbrew.com, and asked and requested to change the promo code so it would match the podcast, whether it was like just Sarcasm or Sarcasm Pod, like all of our other promo codes or whatever, just to make it simple across the board. So we'll see. I don't know. If it does change, I'll let you know. But for the time being, it's Jared, Jared. What did I say? 16159. It's just arbitrary numbers that fucking come up. If I had known any better, that they just base it off of whatever your first name is, I would have typed in Sarcasm as the first name and just kind of went with it and seen what happened. But I didn't. So here we are. So either way, about the actual product, it's fucking incredible. So I think it takes a couple days to get used to, and kind of like adjust, right? Like the first, I would say the first 3 to 4 nights, I really didn't notice a big difference. But once I got to like the 5th or 6th day, just short of a week, I started to like actually like felt like I slept good consistently, right? Like it was like, good sleep would be like great white buffalo for me. Like it would happen like if I'm lucky, maybe twice a week. I would get good night's sleeps. And now I would say I'm probably closer to like 3 to 4. On a good week, it would be like four nights of good sleep. But like I've gone from an average of 1 good night to 3 good nights. So that's a 300% increase. It's pretty fucking good if you ask me. So what's in it, right? That's what everyone's going to ask. It's all natural shit. And so the reason I found it, I guess before I get into the actual ingredients, is Shout out to Dr. Andrew Huberman, who runs the Huberman Lab podcast. I'd probably never be able to get him on this show. He's pretty famous at this point. But he talks a lot on his podcast and goes on other podcasts talking about like different compounds and things that are necessary for different things, right? Like he talks a lot about sleep, talks a lot about like muscle growth, talks a lot about recovery, like anything. He works at Stanford. He's a neurological or a neurologist, I guess. I was going to call him a neurological scientist. Yeah, which I am not, clearly. So he's a neurologist at Stanford. He's a professor. He does all kinds of, studies and shit like that now. So he's a good dude. And he mentioned there are three things that are paramount to getting really good sleep. It's L-theanine, which is just an amino acid, right? Then it's magnesium threonate. He specifies threonate because it has to do, it's like the most bioavailable form of magnesium or something like that. And then the third one is ashwagandha, which is just like an herb that's grown literally fucking forever. I think in like Eastern countries, like Asia, like places like that, they use ashwagandha in teas to like help people sleep and calm down, right? A big surprise. So Moon Brew, this stuff, they have all kinds of shit in it, right? They have the chamomile, lavender, a few different kinds of mushroom extracts, like turkey tail and reishi. There's all like, it's all stuff that calms you down. Valerian root, which is good. Lemon balm, all that bullshit, whatever. There's a whole list on here. You guys can go online and see it. But this is the only thing I've found in my research that has L-theanine and magnesium threonate in it. So it's got 2.7 grams of a blend of, the L-theanine, magnesium threonate, magnesium glycinate, and then instant rose extract also. So it's got almost 3 grams of that in it. And then, so it obviously doesn't have ashwagandha, right? So I bought an ashwagandha supplement. There's just a pill, and I sometimes will just drink it with the tea, and then boom, there you go. And I sleep fucking incredible. So like I said, they're now a sponsor of the show. Like I wouldn't, the same thing with Grow Your Ass Off, right? Like I'm not gonna get an affiliate link and get discounts for everyone for a bullshit product that like I don't like or I don't use, or I'm like, it's dumb. So, which is why I've been looking for like a golf one too, but I can't find a good one.
Golf what?
Like a golf affiliate sponsor code.
But like, what do we want to?
Yeah, there
affiliate?
there aren't many, right? Like there's not, and that's what I mean. Like, what does that
Like,
what does that even mean?
Yeah, I was just like, are we talking clothes, clubs? What are we talking?
Mostly I've looked at clothes and like balls. Because the first thing I thought of was Snell, right? Because
I
they're
don't think Snell
local,
does affiliate.
but that's their whole thing is they don't do. But their thing is they don't do PGA.
They don't do tour
sponsorships.
contracts. I don't think they do affiliates either.
Yeah, and they're literally like 20 minutes from me in Rhode Island. Shout out to Dean Snell. So that's what I mean. I've looked at stuff. I've never been able to find anything. So yeah, it's a really long-winded way of saying go buy some Moon Brew. They also have some other stuff. They have a daytime version called Noon Brew with an N. I've never used it. I'm sure it's probably pretty good. I don't know what's in it. But for me, how much I like this stuff, I would imagine the Noon Brew would probably be pretty good too. It's like an energy tea, right? So it's probably, got everything you need minus like the jitters, right? So it's not like drinking a Red Bull where your hands are going to fucking shake after or bang. So I might check it out. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. So the only thing that I will throw out there about this product, again, they are a sponsor now. Whatever you guys can use the promo code Jared16159. I think it'll get you 20% off when you purchase too. So check them out. They have a bundle package where you can get this is the 30-day bag. They'll throw in a free like 10-day sample bag, and then they'll give you there's like a like black aluminum spoon, like a scoop spoon, right? That you can use to scoop out the stuff. So you don't have to sit there and be like, I don't know how much this is. And then I think they also will include one of those like frothers, like those hand frothers, like you push the button and the fucking thing spins and like stirs it for you. And I think you can get that all for like with after the promo code for like $40. So it's literally 40 days worth of this stuff and the frother and the spoon and all that bullshit for $40. So again, not that it's a pretty solid deal.
I want
so
a
like I said,
personalized frother.
well, that's going to cost you.
I want a Sarcasm Speaks frother.
Maybe we can get one from our merch store and we can start peddling those as well. So the one knock that I will, because again, I'm not going to fucking blow smoke up your guys' asses and be like, it's the best thing ever. Buy it. It's amazing. The taste isn't great.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like dirt?
No, it tastes very
like ground
bitter.
flowers.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's very bitter. So a couple things, right? Like the first time I drank it, I was like, oh my God, that is not good. It grows on you after a little bit. I got through it because, I mean, you probably get it, but being through my whole basically life, whether it was, high school, college, or thereafter, being so heavily involved in like the gym and like drinking all kinds of, whether it's pre-workouts or proteins, or I've drank some nasty fucking shit in my life. Like again, whether it was a pre-workout or a protein shake or something, like the taste isn't great, but it's not like a gross like 2011 brandless protein that you buy because you're in college and you can't afford like good protein. You know what I mean? Like it's not that bad. The other thing you can just do is they send you like a little info card and they're like, the taste will be bitter. Here's a few tips that you can do. Like if you add honey.
Yeah, so why didn't you just add honey to it?
That's what I do, and it tastes good. Like I'm not shitting you. Like drinking it straight, it doesn't taste good. But when you add honey into it, it actually tastes fine. Like it tastes good, right? Depending on how much honey you put in.
Is it good or is it fine? Pick
It's
one.
good. It's good.
Okay.
Because obviously the honey just makes it way sweeter. They said you can also add milk to it or whatever if you don't tolerate dairy.
I will not tolerate such a thing.
You can add whatever.
How dare they fucking
whatever milk substitute you would use, right? Whether it's oat milk or almond milk. Like, so there's things you can do to add to it that are fine, right? And they say you can drink it hot or cold. I never drank it cold. I always just drink it like a tea. So especially
like it won't mix.
Especially so I can put the honey in it too. Like if I'm going to put honey in it, I want the honey to dissolve in a hot liquid. But
that would not mix at all. That would suck.
Yeah, I would imagine.
No, you know what? Hey, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's
exactly. I think the biggest thing there for them is that they want to be like, you don't need to drink it hot if you can't for whatever reason. So good stuff there. That was a solid fucking 10-minute rant on a new sponsor. So go buy it. Again, Jared 16159. 16159. We'll get you 20% off over there. Check it out. It's good stuff. I like it. All right. You gonna start chugging it like you're a professional sleeper now?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably not. Why would I take on anything that may actually help me? Why would I do such a thing?
That's a great question.
Although Jamie from the Couch Mic said he started taking one of the magnesiums, said it puts him fucking out.
Yeah.
And it's not like melatonin where it's probably the same shit that you were saying that's in that product.
Yeah, 3 and 8
He might have had the other one that's in there, glycinate.
glycinate. Yeah,
Um, he said that's been legendary because obviously he works like a fucking dumbass.
yeah,
He had to
yeah.
meet a guy at midnight. He had to meet him at midnight.
That's pretty solid. I saw on LinkedIn he's the vice president now of the company.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how like what the timetable is. It's a complicated behind the scenes way for him to eventually run the show.
Yeah, when Lloyd's ready to retire.
Yeah, I think Lloyd has to retire. I don't think his mother has any involvement anymore. Um,
I mean, it's not like they have a board of directors. Like they can
no, because
basically
it's a
just
for-profit thing, but
yeah,
he's all remember, he's not that old, so
yeah. He's not even 30 yet.
yeah. I forget what year he was born, so it's like,
I think he
you
was
know,
born in 96.
jeez. So yeah, you just don't hand shit over to a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
Although I got my business when I was 25, so whatever.
You
But
guys are still
it wasn't
right,
handed over.
right. You guys had a designated
We bought it.
keep the doors open for 4 years and it's yours.
Yeah.
Which was a struggle at times, but you pulled it off.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Are you guys still moving, by the way?
Don't fucking I'll
All
let you
right.
know when things are official, I'll let you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. Just keeps getting pushed back. Are you
Ugh.
at least able to go month to month with your current spot
Yes.
until the new
Yep.
place is rectified? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That's important. And they're not going to fucking penalize you for it.
Nope.
All right. Because a lot of places will be like, yeah, sure, we'll let you stay past the lease, but we're going to charge you a month and a half rent for each
Yeah,
month.
usually a holdover is a month and a half or 2x.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. At least you have a half decent landlord. Um, so speaking of money and that shit, this is really, really, really big here. So again, if you're new to the show, welcome. But if you've been following us for at least a month at this point, you know we like sports and we like to gamble, and we also like to gamble on sports. Well, you also know the absolute fucking debacle that we went through for what, probably 2 years when it came to sports betting in Massachusetts.
Every bit of 4.
Since we started the show, basically.
5.
Yeah.
Because it got overturned federally in 2018, and I want to say that the fall of 2018 is when Twin River was open.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, because we were already in Mansfield. We were in Mansfield in what, 2017, right?
I think early 2018.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So right around that time. So the numbers came out. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the Massachusetts Gaming Commission announced the numbers for the first, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm using air quotes, month of activity, if you will, for sports betting in Massachusetts. And I use air quotes because it wasn't a full month, it was 3 weeks. Sports betting became legal mobile, right? Mobily, if you will, if that's a word. It is now. On March 10th. So from March 10th on, want to take a guess? I don't know. Do you know? Have you seen
No,
it? Do you want to take a guess as to what the handle is in Massachusetts for the 3 weeks since March 10th?
600.
Very fucking close. $550 million for 3 weeks of activity.
It's pretty good.
That
does
pretty
include
fucking good.
That does include the tournament though.
Right.
All right. People are so, I think some people are weird about it. Like they still haven't signed up. I'm like, what the fuck are you waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah. So they did a handle, which for anyone that's not familiar with sports betting, that's just how much money was wagered, right? So there was $550 million wagered on sports betting in Massachusetts from March 10th to March 31st. The revenue brought in by the state, $47 million.
Revenue was 47.
Yeah.
Hold on. So 47 divided by 0.2. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm going to use, what is 17? I'm going to use 17 and a half because that's that's probably not right. I'm going to use 18. So 47 million divided by 18.18. That means they held 261. I'm going to call it 250. So so 250 divided by 550, that's a 45% hold. Holy shit. Wow. That's a big number.
Yeah. That's a very big number.
How the fuck parlays? It's got to be fucking parlays.
Probably,
How the
yeah.
fuck did they hold 45%? Unless that number, I mean, unless that's not weird anymore.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm trying to see if I can find the article. Obviously, I didn't link the fucking
It doesn't
article.
matter. You're not going to find the real numbers you need anyway.
Because they had it broken down by sportsbook too, where I saw it. And obviously, DraftKings was number one. I think they were
It
like,
wasn't FanDuel?
no. So DraftKings
Wow.
was like 260 million. FanDuel was like 180 million. And then the other ones were, all whatever the difference is to get to 550.
Local guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah, just doing a quick search here.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I can't find it. But yeah. So all that time where the Massachusetts Gaming Commission, where their sole purpose was to develop plans to get the state ready for sports betting, they dragged their feet for months. The chairwoman of the fucking committee was anti sports betting somehow. The entire fucking thing was an absolute debacle from beginning to end. And here we are, 3 weeks of full blown sports betting. And the state made almost $50 million
That would be
in free money.
that
Like,
would
it's just
be $500 million if they averaged that for 12 months a year. Now, obviously, some months will be lower.
right.
Football months will be higher.
Right. I mean,
Dig
July will be fucking nothing.
the baseball
There's
guys.
only baseball in July.
Um, if the Red Sox are in it though, which probably not, July fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $500 million.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be terrible. That's terrible.
yeah. What would we do as a state with $500 million in revenue? That's awful. We don't want
Yeah,
that. We
that
don't
does
want all that money.
that does kind of suck.
Yeah. Oh, so I found it here. I just had to search my history. Um, DraftKings was the most popular operator among consumers, drawing, I'm going to round numbers here, $258 million in bets. FanDuel was 181 million, so I was right there. And BetMGM was third with 45 million. So
Yeah, so far, I haven't used WinBet, I haven't used Barstool Sportsbook, but that's how I like FanDuel better than DraftKings, to be honest.
Yeah, I think their layout is a little bit better.
And I still like MGM for golf.
Yes, same.
Um, I was able to snake some good numbers at the Masters on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's probably how I would rate the books too. Like I have a Caesars account and I'm like not even using it. I don't even know how much money's in there.
Yeah, I got a decent amount of money in my FanDuel account still. I've been hitting like fucking crazy.
I also forgot I have to move some money around. I finally went back to fucking Plainville because it's so convenient. It's only 20 minutes away. Yeah, when I'm playing golf, it's not fucking convenient to go to Plainville. So I'm like, I gotta go cash these tickets.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, here we are. $50 million roughly in 3 weeks of action. So, I mean, we'll see what April does, right? I mean, we do still have, we have NBA playoffs, we have NHL playoffs, we have
Yeah,
the
you got
baseball season.
the draft.
Yeah, you have the draft. So I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers for April match the numbers for March. But again, remember that March was only 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
but it had the
I
tournament, so that
that's what I mean.
I think it'll
So
even out.
I think the tournament inflated everything for that 3 week period. So that's why I mean, like, I think 550 is a fine number for a month. I think that it's like blows it out of the water for 3 weeks.
I also think April will continue to be okay. I don't know how May and June are going to be.
Yeah, because there's not much going on.
You know what though? It'll just depend on how far the teams go.
Yeah.
Because if the Celtics get to the NBA Finals, then June's going to be a thing.
Right. Right.
Hockey betting's harder, so you're not going to see as much hockey.
Yeah.
Plus, the Bruins can't win, so
true. I'm interested to see what the numbers are come September.
They're going to be
fucking
astronomical.
Yeah.
They're going to be crazy, dude. It's going to be
you think we can hit a 700 handle?
I was thinking 750.
Yeah. Especially for September.
Wait till next February.
Yeah, I know. So the big thing for me too is like I think September would probably be one of the bigger months, just because you've had probably 2 months, futures. Right? Like if you call July and August, you call it 2 months of like nothing really to bet on other than baseball. So that's like when September rolls around again, NFL is back.
You get futures.
Hockey doesn't start until like the end of
October.
September, like beginning of October. But I think September and October will be pretty fucking high. And like you said, I wouldn't be surprised to see a $750 million handle in either of those months.
Patriots ever make a Super Bowl again, there'll be $1 billion in February. That's for fucking damn sure.
Yeah, and it'll all come in on that one fucking day.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Like half of the Super Bowl money comes in day of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking wild. But yeah, no, we can't have all that money. We needed to do everything we can to protect the lottery.
Yeah, is the lottery suffering?
Probably not.
It's not. Nope.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got here. One other thing, I guess, before we wrap this up. I've got an interesting bit of news here that I'm curious to get your take on, even though I pretty much know what you're going to say. So I'm trying to see if I can quickly. I think I remember the numbers off the top of my head, but here we are. I'm just going to wing it. So the Biden administration has passed legislation that has to do with home buying beginning on May 1st. I don't know if you heard any of your clients bitch about this. Yeah, you've seen it. So starting on May 1st, home buyers with good credit, right? So a credit score of 740 or above will get penalized with a additional 1.75% interest rate on their mortgage. So if, just to keep numbers all even and nice and square here, if you were going to apply for a mortgage and you were going to get a 5% interest rate, if your credit score is 780, which is a good or very good credit score, you will now have to have a 6.75% interest rate because your credit score is so high. Everyone's like, well, that's kind of fucked up. Well, just wait, it gets better. Conversely, if your credit score is 620 or below, right? So your credit score is dog shit. It's lower than 620 points. You will get a discount of 1%. So you take that same 5% interest rate, you go to apply for a loan. If your credit score is 550, which is, I think, probably almost as low as it can go, you will now only have to pay a 4% interest rate on that mortgage. So I think I saw the numbers that because I think the average house price in the country might be like 400,000 or something. Or I don't know why they chose the number 400,000, but that's what I saw. So on a $400,000 mortgage, I believe I saw it's an extra $38,000 on the life of the mortgage. Right. So obviously with interest rates, right? Like if a $400,000 mortgage on a 5% interest rate, you're going to end up paying back. Again, we're making up numbers here. We're not doing real math. It might be like, $450,000 is what you actually pay at the end of 30 years because of interest and things like that. Well, now with this penalty, because your credit is so high, you're now going to pay $488,000 instead of $450. Again, I'm making up the numbers because I'm not doing that kind of math off the top of my head, but you get the idea. If you have a good credit score, you will get hit with an extra 1.75%. And if you have a dog shit credit score, you will get a 1% discount.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It's incentivizing people to have shitty credit. And right? Like what's to stop someone from just tanking their credit?
Yeah, I'm like, because I was thinking that. I'm like, if I need to get a mortgage and it's like, oh, well, your credit's 740. I'm like, all right, well, why don't I just put in like 10 inquiries on my credit score and just fucking tank it?
Yeah.
And then that way, once the inquiries expire, the credit goes right back up.
Right. Yeah, the inquiries only last for what, 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, something like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand who benefits.
I mean, people with shitty credit benefit.
Yeah, but what's going to happen now is they just won't get approved for like, so, because usually like the interest rates are a range, right?
Yeah.
So like say right now it's between 6 and 7.25 because I think they're high right now.
Yeah, they are.
So then someone with shitty credit's going to get approved for the 7.25 minus your 1%, still 625.
Right.
So that's what I mean is like it's still going to be in that range. I mean, so it benefits them kind of, but like not really.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't get. I don't know.
I would at least, I don't like it, right? But I would at least listen to the argument about crediting the people with low credit. That's a really shitty way to say that. Discounting the people with shitty credit. Because you could make the argument like, maybe they had whatever, like you can appeal to people's emotions that way and be like, maybe they had one bad event and there's that one bill that fucked them and whatever, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I get it, right? Like you want to put in that discount. Again, stupid idea. I don't like it, but I will at least allow you to present it, right? I will listen to you. what makes zero sense and would make me walk away from a fucking conversation is penalizing people with good credit. Like that's the part that just makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and it kind of fits like almost like the millionaire tax here. It's like you're just gonna like charge more tax to people who make more money. It's like disproportionately.
Yeah.
Like why?
It's inching closer and closer to socialism, communism, whatever the fuck. They're the same thing effectively. So socialism is a form of communism.
Yeah, it is, and I don't want to say like it's illegal, but it's not illegal. It's just such a fucking dumb idea. Like I don't get it. Like, can anyone stop this? Can the Supreme Court stop this?
I have no idea, to
Probably
be
not,
totally
because
honest.
the Constitution doesn't talk about fucking interest rates.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
who
I
can,
don't
I don't
know.
know who would
Well,
be able to put a stop to it.
well,
The
someone has to
Fed?
be able to.
Like with the Fed, like Jerome Powell, like the chairman of the Fed, like would he be able to
I
do something? I don't know. I have
I
no
figure
idea.
that it would have to come from Congress. Congress
Yeah.
would have to do something because it's all like the checks and balances shit. I don't exactly know how it works, but
Right. Right.
if someone doesn't like what the president's doing, it's either got to be the Supreme Court or it's got to be
Yeah. I don't
lawmakers.
know the form of how this got passed, right? Like, I don't know if it was a executive order or if it was actual legislation that was passed through Congress.
Well, I also know other people that benefit is the banks because
Right.
now they're getting people with good credit paying more
Right.
in interest.
And by definition, the people with good credit are the ones that pay their bills on time.
Right.
So
I don't know.
this is a
It's
win for
fishy.
the banks.
It's fishy as to why this is getting passed because I don't think we need this, number one, first and foremost.
No.
I actually didn't think the system was fucking broken. And now it's like interest rates are at an all-time high. I don't know what property prices are like, but like this is gonna like it has to negatively affect the housing market somehow.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It has to.
I think it's just a matter of time before it completely fucking falls apart again. Like I think we're on like the thinnest of thin ice when it comes to like real estate and property again. Like it's again, I'm not a real estate guy. I'm not an investor. I'm not a banker. I'm not any of this shit. But what I see people post on Twitter and Instagram and talk about on podcasts is they are talking as if it's eerily similar to what happened in 2007, which was leading up to the failure and debacle of 2008 and 2009. So I don't know. Again, I'm not smart enough. That's not what I do, right? Like I'm not a real estate guy. I'm not involved in it every day. Neither am I a banker, right? So I don't know. But I know it's probably not good.
It's not. Well, no, because like people like if you need to buy a place, already prices are like kind of like out
Retarded.
kicking their coverage.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still as bad as it was, but well, no, it can't be because the interest rates were way lower. They were stupid low at one point.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think we got like 2.9.
yeah, that's comical.
Yeah.
Because Mansfield was like 475
Yeah.
or 425, one or the other.
Yeah.
Don't you usually get two numbers? Isn't
Yeah,
there usually
I think so.
an interest rate and an APR?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But yeah, now people can't offer those rates or those numbers because the rates are too high for the mortgage, and now people with good credit are getting penalized. Like, how are they going to buy anything?
They're not, which is just basically how it works, right? Like you're essentially you're building a tower, a wall, whatever fucking, metaphor you want to use to keep people out, right? Like if you don't already own property, it's going to become exponentially more difficult for you to now own property in the future. Right? Because if you already own property, again, theoretically, you can just sell whatever you own and use that to flip into your next property, right? But, or you just have to have money, right? Like if you're rich and you have money, you can afford to put a down payment on a home, then you can do that, right? You can buy up a bunch of houses and rent them out, right? Like, so it's creating a, it's almost turning the housing market into like a niche market, right? Like, and that niche is wealth.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of concerning
It's very concerning.
because I don't understand the motivation, and that I think the hardest thing is I just don't understand the motivation behind it.
Yeah, and I don't either, to be honest. And I don't know if maybe this week I'll have to pay a little bit more attention to Crystal and Saga on Breaking Points and see what they have to say about it. Um, but I haven't heard anyone that's like an investment banker talk about it, right? Or like, you know what I mean? Like typically like the podcast that I listen to would be the ones to like have someone on, right? Like Rogan. Rogan would be like, what's the current climate? Okay. It would be really cool if I talked to someone who knew what was going on right now. And then he like has that person on and like has a really good discussion. I haven't seen any of that with this whole like housing interest rate thing.
It's odd.
Yeah.
It's really odd.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. That's a really shitty fucking response, but it's all we can really do.
Yeah, it's confusing to me, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. It's just one of those like I said, if you don't already own a home or you don't already own property, it now just got way fucking harder to own property.
This shit's gonna fucking. It sounds like this shit's gonna crash again.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Sick.
Yeah.
Someone who's good at the stock market, tell me how to take advantage of the next crash.
I know, right?
Outside of just like buy everything when it bottoms out.
Well, it's not low enough yet, though. No, it's got to go lower. I'm not going to buy yet. It's got to go lower.
Gotta go lower.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to buy any of that yet. It's not low enough. Fuck. All right. You want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
All right.
So I played Eastward Ho on Friday.
Yes.
So for anyone who's wondering what the fuck is Eastward Ho, it's a golf course. It is located in Chatham, Massachusetts on the Cape. It is a top 10 course in the state, ranked, whatever. It is very private, so I had a tournament there. And it when I said like I was on record as like myopia was like probably the most interesting piece of property I've ever been on, this might actually be more interesting. Because the TV cameras don't do it justice about the undulations and the slopes. Like there were some slopes like in the golf cart, like I wasn't willing to drive down because I'm like, it's just too steep.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm looking at it. I go, you can't drive down this thing. Like, no way.
Yeah.
So not only is the course on the ocean, so you get that type of wind. So like
Was
we
it
were
warm?
no, because it flips to cold. Because now it's summer or something. So town of Chatham was only getting 6 miles an hour of wind. And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be more on the golf course because it's the ocean, whatever. And like we were getting some winds like sustained 20 miles an hour.
Wow.
So I can't even imagine what happens there when that place is fucking windy.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Holy
40.
shit.
It's going to be 20 all the time and 40.
Yeah, that's miserable.
So, and I think part of the course is set up. Well, so here's a funny thing, obviously. So I'm playing the 17th hole. It's a par five, probably 520 or something. And it goes, oh, traditional wind is at your back. Where do you think it was?
In your face.
In my fucking face. So 17 and 18 go in the same direction. And 18 is because I bought a yardage book at here. So I did my like course mapping and then I bought a yardage book. So on 18 it goes, all right, so it's like 440 par 4. And it goes, oh, usually with the wind at your back, uh a good drive will leave you 125 in, but if you don't quite catch the hill, you'll have like 250. Because again, there's just this massive slope.
Right. Right.
Well, into the wind, I had 230 to the pin. Hit a hybrid, 40 yards short.
Sick.
So
should have hit driver off the deck.
Yeah, because that would have been good. The ball would have been in the ocean. And then God forbid if it didn't actually move left for me, I probably would have put it in the fucking clubhouse. But so definitely the most elevation change I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is it a Donald Ross?
No.
Oh, wow.
Well, you got to remember though, with Ross, his big thing was the greens. Like, now it just so happens in Massachusetts, generally most of our courses have hills and stuff. But I'm telling you, like, so first hole, you hit out, it goes down into like a little bit of a valley and then it plays uphill. I had 153 pin, probably 10 miles an hour wind at me. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, let me give it 20 yards for the uphill and 10 yards for the wind. So I'll play it like 183. I was 30 yards short.
Holy shit.
So 153 played about 215.
Wow. So did you just get like bent over?
No, not really. Not too bad. I couldn't putt worth a shit. I shot an 83, which is
pretty good.
12 over. I drove the fuck out of the ball.
Nice.
So it's interesting because I've never played it, so obviously, a couple like weird things about it. But you're always like driving into these slopes and stuff and whatever. So my tee shot strategy worked good and I executed, so that was fine. Couldn't putt worth a shit. So I was in play all the time, no penalties. But again, I had 4 3-putts, so that's too many. And I now have a new pet peeve after playing here. So this was by far the nicest conditions I've ever played in my life. When people talk like tight lies and firm fairways, I have now experienced that. Anyone that thinks that they have played a firm golf course or tight fairways, and it's either not a PGA Tour course or a like US Open type venue or top 10 in the state, has no fucking idea what they're talking about. Yeah. Because
it's like when I was at Kapalua. And I was like, this course is unfucking believable.
So now I don't know if Kapalua is the same way because certain things might be different because it is a resort course. I know resort courses use different types of grass because they're not trying to fucking bend you over, like whatever.
There's no Kikuya.
Well, but again, it's like, oh, is it past Palm? I don't know what it is. What kind of grass is it? So these fairways were so firm and the lies were so tight that I could not really gauge how to hit a wedge. So when you hear like a PGA Tour player go like, oh, I never take a full swing with a wedge because it just spins too much, I now know what they're talking about. Because you hit the ball so clean that it spins so much that it doesn't go. Like it doesn't go the yardage it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So I was hitting these balls and it's like, I'm like, oh fuck, I caught that like so good. And then it would hit the front of the green and roll off.
Yeah.
I probably did that 3 times with a wedge in the fairway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like trying to adjust to that. And then like some of the chipping was similar too, where like I'm used to like, I take my 48, which is a set 48. So it's like, that doesn't spin a ton. And I was like, fucking like, I was like one hop stopping them with the 48. Like I'm expecting it to run out and it's stopping on me.
Right. Right.
So getting used to that, like that stuff was hard. So now it's like, I'm going to like, I already know it. Some guy's going to be like, oh yeah, it's playing really firm and fast. I'm going to put some spin on the ball. I go, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You can't, like wherever we are, you cannot put spin on the ball the way that you're talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be at a top-notch course.
And that's what they say is like when you want to spin a wedge, you need to have premium ball, good grooves on the wedge, in good conditions.
Right.
Most of us do not know what quote unquote good conditions are because we just don't get it. I mean, it's like, we're playing like either average places or public places, or there's no budget to keep it like that, or it's just the wrong place. Like, the fact that it's probably sandy soil near the ocean allows it to be that way. Like, that's why it's like that. It's why some of these courses are the way they are. Like Oakmont, they say Oakmont, if it existed anywhere else in the country, it could not exist as Oakmont. But it is in quite literally somehow, whoever put it there, put it in the perfect place somehow.
Yeah.
So that being said, I did make my first eagle.
Oh shit.
I've never made an eagle, which most of you are thinking, how the fuck have you never made an eagle? I've been a 3 handicap for like 4 fucking years. I've never made an eagle because the 2 courses that I've played most of my golf at are 9-hole courses with 1 par 5. I play a lot of 9-hole rounds, so that only gives me 1 crack at it, not 4, 1. And if I play 18, that's only 2 cracks at it. The course I used to be at, probably the dumbest fucking par 5 ever designed because there's water down the entire side.
Yeah.
And where I would need to land a driver, there's only 28 yards of in play, not fairway, in play, like yardage between hazards. And part of that is a cart path. So I'm really trying to land a driver in a 6-yard fucking radius.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. So that was one of the holes I played for 2.5 years at my home course. And then my home course now, I can't reach the par 5 in 2 from 1 set of tees. And then when I play the back, I can, but I have to be in the fairway with a good number, and the wind can't be blowing in my face because I have to cover water.
Right.
So yes, if I played more public places, or if I played more 18s, or if I played shorter tees, yes, I would have many more opportunities. But that's mostly why I haven't made an eagle to this point. I'm also not like super long off the tee, so it's not like I'm hitting like driver, 6 iron like often. It's like it's got to be a long club.
Right.
And like when I play tournaments, it's usually not that easy to reach them in 2.
Right.
So that same 17th hole, 5 whatever into the wind, even though it's supposed to be at your back. So I have 270 to the pin, hit a hybrid. I'm 58 yards short because, into the wind, uphill, whatever. And I hole out from 58 yards. And I was
jackass.
I was able to see it. So I threw it.
Did you spin it back?
I spun it left.
Jesus, look at you, huh?
I threw it right to the pin. I knew it was pretty good. I see it jump left, roll, and disappear.
Nice.
So I posted this on my Instagram. That not only that I played, but I also, I hold out, I hold out for eagle from 58 yards. And the guy who hosted the mastermind goes, 58 yards. He goes, that's your yardage. And the reason he said that was when we played at Topgolf and we played Pebble Beach. So if you've never played the actual golf courses at Topgolf, because there's no putting and chipping component, you hit like your tee shot, you hit your approach, and if it's outside of a certain yardage, you may swing again. But if you get like green-ish side, no matter what, you hit to the yellow target at the Top Golf, which was 57 yards. And I was lighting this target up. Like it was the only thing that kept me. Like I think I probably won that. I mean, not that it mattered, but like I think I did win at Top Golf because I was just obliterating this target. Like
Yeah, you're just
I was
draining
so
shots.
fucking good hitting the 57 yarder. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like 1 yard difference.
Yeah.
So
So that's your thing. When you're like, oh, I got to hit to a number. You got to hit to 58.
well, I need these tight lies so I can spin the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
As the ball flies too much if it's
You're going to have to get on the board at Sharon.
yeah. We need millions and millions of dollars every year.
Yeah. We're going to need to open up the membership.
No, we have to keep membership as what it is, but we need to make a shitload more money because I need this place to fucking play crazy. So,
are you going to stay there for at least the foreseeable future?
At Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really intend on leaving.
All right. Because I know
it's still cheap for me.
You, what is it, 35? They kick you off the young player, whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah. So part of my issue is if I leave to go to a nicer place that's quite expensive each year and usually involves an initiation of some kind, which I'm not super interested in. And then if I leave, I'm either paying the same somewhere else with having to pay like a smaller initiation and still get almost the same thing.
Right.
Or I have to pay less and get a way shitty, like a semi-private membership.
Right.
So it probably doesn't make a lot of sense for me to leave.
Yeah.
Because even like the full on membership is still reasonable for what it is. Like I'll still get my money's worth, and it's not crazy. Like some of these places are like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year.
Yeah.
Sharon won't be that.
Yeah. Some of them are even more.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking here?
I feel like I forget what course I was looking at. It was around here. I forget whether it was Pawtucket Country Club or Wannamoysit or one, but I think it was like 11 a year.
Yeah, I mean, so Wannamoysit's going to be expensive because it's
Yeah.
got a reputation. Pawtucket's supposed to be nice. The guys are playing there tomorrow, so I'll get a review there. Yeah, man. I mean, like some of these, like if it's an 18-hole course that's been around for a while, it's probably gonna be
north of 10 grand.
6+.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know many that are 10 a year. So Wannamoysit wouldn't surprise me. I want to say TPC is close to 10 a year. But
maybe that's
TPC is a family membership though. So like
maybe that's what I heard someone was talking. I think it was someone I was like, playing with recently.
Yeah, TPC is like 35 to 50 down and like 10 a year. I don't know what Wannamoysit is down now, which is it's funny though because there was a point where they were taking almost like anybody in, so some people got in on good deals.
Yeah.
But then obviously COVID fucking changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like even if I really think about it, if I'm looking for close proximity to home and work, and I don't want to pay in that 6+ range, I don't get many options.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
not between home and work is the thing too, right? Because like there's courses near, like there's obviously Easton, right? But
yeah, again, Easton semi-private.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really want to join a semi-private course.
Right. Yeah, the other one near you, I always fuck it up, whether it's Brook Meadow or Meadowbrook, but that's semi-private.
Brook Meadow in Canton is semi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then there's a bunch of nine holers like Milton Hoosick, Wampy, Norfolk. I feel like
Isn't
there's one I'm missing.
Raintree?
Braintree's municipal. Blue Hill is expensive, but these places aren't convenient to work, which
Yeah.
is usually where I'm going from.
Right. Right.
I'm usually not going from home.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like even like so like down your way, like even Ledgemont's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, Ledgemont. That's another one because recently I went on Google Maps and like just found all the golf courses near me and I just click on them and like I would say at least half of them are all private. And I'm like sick. I guess I'm not
How
going to play
close are you to
there.
Rehoboth?
Very close.
I don't know how
I just played Hillside last weekend, two
I
weekends
don't
ago.
I don't know how expensive Crestwood is, but probably expensive because
Yeah.
everything's expensive right now.
Yeah, Crestwood was one. I can't remember any of the other names, but I did look around.
Seggy's on the Taunton Rehoboth line, but again, that's like 6 when it's
Yeah.
all said and done. Because that's the other thing too. If it's not 6 in golf membership, then it's food minimums and your handicap and assessments and all this shit.
Right. Right. Well, it's dumb. Um,
I guess to put a tie on that too, Eastward Ho is none of these numbers. It's way higher than anything you can probably
oh
imagine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Or I guess
probably something
it's probably like
ungodly.
10 a year, but like the initiation's probably crazy and they're probably not taking any new members.
Yeah, probably. All right. So my final thought is so Amy and I watched this movie last night called Ghosted. It's on Apple TV. Is it called Apple TV? TV Apple Plus? I never fucking know
I
what
don't
it's
know.
called. Because I've always thought that Apple TV was like the little fucking box thing, like a Roku, right? Like because I had an Apple TV years ago, and then I switched to Roku. So I don't. I'm just gonna call it Apple TV. You guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's the streaming service. Um, so it's this movie. It's called Ghosted. The lead is Chris Evans and Anna De Armas. Um, so a couple of things going into it, I was misinformed. I saw the trailer for it and was like, oh wow, I bet this would be like a really cool movie. It looks like very action, like spy. Cool. I like that. Like shooting stuff, chasing bad guys, all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm down. I'm always down for a good spy movie. Um, well, it was not that. Um, well, it kind of was, and I'm going to try and do this without spoiling anything for anybody either, because it just came out. But I, when I first watched the movie, I thought it was dumb, right? Because I thought it was billed as a spy action movie. When I finished watching the movie, I read the reviews on it to be like, wow, did people hate that? Like, just curious. Like, did they think it was stupid? And when I saw all the reviews and I actually started reading about it, it's listed as a rom-com. And I was like, oh, that makes way more sense. So my initial thought of like not liking the movie is a me problem because I went in with the expectation of action spy shooter movie. When in reality, it was a rom-com. If I had known that going in, I would have.
I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, I probably, yeah, that and like I would have had very different thoughts through the whole thing. So my major issue, right, which it's I don't want to, it's not a major issue. The the glaring thing that I noticed through at the beginning of the movie, right, is Anna De Armas, who, if you don't know, she was the maid from Knives Out. She's been in a million things. She's like the it girl right now in Hollywood. Like everyone fucking loves her. You know, she's drop dead gorgeous. Like they want her in all the movies, whatever. Um, so she's the spy, right? Again, none of this is spoilers here. Um, Chris Evans is the supporting character, I suppose you could say, and is an absolute bumbling fucking idiot for the first like 45 minutes of the movie. And I'm sitting there like, okay, to the point where it's egregious, right? It's basically like Anna de Armas is like fucking female Jason Bourne, and Chris Evans is like Three Stoogesing his way through this whole fucking movie. Like it's pretty fucking bad. And I'm like, really? Like this is what we're gonna do? It's classic fucking Hollywood, right? You have the strong female lead who does everything, and Chris Evans can't get out of his own way. He's like tripping over his own feet because he's a guy, and guys are dumb, and they can't fight, they can't do anything. He needs Anna de Armas to save him because he's a stupid dum dum. And it's like, okay, like this is what we're doing, I guess. So that part of it, like, kind of fucking pissed me off. But I will say that it wasn't like that for the whole movie. Chris Evans does kind of turn it around and become like semi-useful. Probably because it's Chris fucking Evans, and he probably want that written into the script for him. Like I can't imagine he of all people coming off of fucking Captain America, and what I forget what other movie he was in that he was phenomenal. He was the villain. Um, shit, I can't think of the movie, but it was great. I remember I love Gray Man with the dude from The Notebook.
Ryan
Not
Gosling.
Ryan. Yes, I was gonna say not Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. So Gray Man, that was a pretty good movie. And Chris Evans was the villain in that. He was fantastic. So again, I would doubt that Chris Evans and his representation would sign on to a movie where he's a blithering fucking moron for the entire movie. So like the first half of the movie, again, it's basically like Larry Moe and Curly when it comes to fucking Chris Evans. But again, he becomes semi-useful throughout the second half of the movie. So it does get better, but it's like, that was the one thing where I was like, really? Like, come on. Like, why do we have to make it egregious? Right? Like that's the thing for me. Like, you want to make Anna de Armas the main focal point. Sure. She's the spy. You know, Chris Evans is just a regular dude. I get it. Like, yeah, of course. Like, he's not going to be like a fucking, you know, John Wick, right? Because he's supposed to be a regular dude, but like they went above and beyond to make him a fucking moron. Which again, I was like, all right, cool. There's Hollywood shining through. But all in all, I think it was a fine movie, right? I would probably watch it again. Especially like going in knowing that it's a rom-com and not thinking that it's like female James Bond or Jason Bourne. So again, if you have Apple TV and you see it, give it a watch, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you to not waste your time and not watch it, because I do think it's a decent movie. I guess the things I just talked about were the things that I didn't like, but outside of those couple things, there wasn't much else that I didn't like about it. Adrian Brody is in it, which is like fine. So, I mean, I never really got the hype with Adrian Brody. Like, some people love him. They think he's like incredible. I've never really seen a ton of movies with him in it.
I don't know any movie he's been in.
Yeah. I don't know, but he's okay. He's the villain, I guess. He's fine. So I would give it a watch, right? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell people not to watch it because I don't think it sucked. But I do think you need to have your mind in the right place going in, that it is a rom-com that just has elements of action in it, apparently. It is not an action movie. So there's a couple, and again, this is like the difference in opinion here with the two movies. Like Amy thought it was great. She loved, there's a section in the movie that's like quick cameos of like 3 or 4 people that are like uber famous, right? Like you'll know if you watch it, like obviously you'll know all 4 people that have the cameos in this movie that they come in. They're wicked fucking famous. And it's like, I thought that part was kind of dumb, but Amy thought it was funny. But again, she went in like with a lot more open of a mind than me. And at that point in the movie, I thought I was still supposed to be watching an action movie. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, why do they have these 4 people coming in that have nothing to do with the movie? That's like comic relief, right? Like my thought was like, literally my thought as I'm watching this was that Thor Ragnarok ruined everything because it did so well. And it was like it's an action comic book Marvel movie, but it had like baked in elements of comedy that I was like, it ruined everything because now I can't even get a fucking action movie because my action movies have to have comedy in them. But again, I want to reiterate, I was wrong. I had the wrong expectation going in. But yeah, Ghosted on Apple TV Plus. Check it out. Do you guys have Apple TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably worth a watch. It's solid. Especially now going in that you know what I didn't know. So yeah, that's going to do it for us. So thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button, like, rate, and review. Also, you can do that if you're an audio only listener. Well, you can rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify. You can like us anywhere else and subscribe. Tell everybody you know about the show. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook page, Sarcasm Speaks, website, sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. Maybe I'll check it out and see if I can add a custom Sarcasm Speaks frother over there. So you can use it to buy your moon brew nighttime superfoods. Again, when you buy that and use the promo code, the stupid promo code Jared16159, that'll get you 20% off over there. Likewise, you can use an actual promo code SarcasmPod at grillyourassoff.com to get the world's best seasonings, barbecue sauces, accoutrements, whatever you can think of when it comes to grilling and cooking. And they will get you 10% off at grillyourassoff.com every single time you check out. So I don't know, truthfully, if the promo code for Moon Brew is a multi-use or a one-time use. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But that Grill Your Ass Off coupon is good every single time you check out over there. And we do still have mybookie.com. Again, we talked about this before. BetMGM just never got back to me. So we're still with mybookie.com. Use the same promo code SarcasmPod to double your first deposit up to $1,000, which would be helpful, right? If you live in a state that doesn't have legalized sports betting,
or if you want to bet on the election. That's
true too. Yeah, you want to bet on some goofy shit. So that's going to do it for us. So until next time, good night, everyone.